Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're doing something absolutely insane. I've spent the last month gathering the most unbelievable, jaw-dropping, and totally shocking car crash moments from all over the world in 2025, and I'm going to show them to you right now. Seriously, you won't believe what people have caught on camera. We've got everything from a 100-car pileup to a high-speed chase that ends in a way you will never see coming. This isn't just a compilation, it's a deep dive into the moments that defy belief, the split seconds where everything goes completely wrong. So I need you to do one thing for me. Buckle up, because what you're about to see is pure chaos on the roads. We're going to break down every single one of these clips, from the icy roads that turned into a skating rink of destruction, to the bridge crash that looks like a scene straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster. I'm talking about metal twisting, glass shattering, and moments of sheer, unadulterated pandemonium. You're going to be on the edge of your seat questioning how anyone could possibly walk away from some of these. Before we jump into the first clip, which is genuinely one of the most chaotic things I have ever seen in my life, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If this video gets 100,000 likes, I'll do a part 2 featuring even crazier moments you guys send in. You are not ready for this, let's get into it. This is the craziest car crash compilation of 2025, and it starts right now. Let's roll the first clip. Alright, kicking things off, we have our first clip. And honestly, it's a big one. This isn't just a fender bender, folks. We are talking about a massive, sprawling highway pileup involving over 100 vehicles. Look at this drone footage. It looks like a war zone. The sheer scale of this is something I can barely wrap my head around. The police report said it stretched for over 2 miles. 2 miles of complete and utter carnage. You can see cars, trucks, and semis all tangled together like a giant metallic knot. The incident started on a foggy morning on Interstate 80. Visibility was near zero, a thick, soupy fog that blankets everything. The first dashcam we're looking at shows the initial moment. A semi-truck, probably going a little too fast for the conditions, suddenly slams on its brakes. You can hear the tires screeching, a sound that gets drowned out almost immediately by the first sickening crunch of metal. That was the first impact, but it was just the beginning of a chain reaction that would spiral out of control for the next several minutes. Look at this angle from another car a few hundred yards back. You can see the brake lights flashing in the fog ahead, but it's too late. The driver has nowhere to go. Cars to the left, cars to the right, and a wall of stopped vehicles appearing out of the mist in front of him. He braces for impact, and bam! He gets hit from behind, pushing him into the car in front. This exact scenario played out dozens and dozens of times, a domino effect of destruction rippling down the highway. It's the sound that's truly haunting, a symphony of chaos. The continuous blare of horns, the screech of tires, the explosive shatter of glass, and the deep, groaning sound of metal being twisted and torn apart. It's relentless. For minutes, it just doesn't stop. Every new sound is another vehicle, another life, being violently thrown into this disaster. You can see people getting out of their cars looking dazed and confused, only to have to run for cover as more cars keep piling in. Emergency services describe the scene as unprecedented. Firefighters and paramedics who arrived first couldn't even reach the people trapped in the center of the pileup. They had to navigate a maze of wrecked vehicles with leaking fuel and smoke filling the air. It took them hours, literally hours, just to get to some of the victims. The logistics of trying to help in a situation like this are just mind-boggling. Every direction they turned, there was another crushed car, another person needing help. In this footage from a news helicopter that arrived later, you can finally grasp the full extent of the disaster. From the air, it doesn't even look like a highway anymore. It resembles a scrapyard that has been hit by a tornado. Sedans are wedged underneath massive trucks, minivans are crumpled like aluminum cans, and debris is scattered across all lanes of traffic. It's a testament to how quickly a normal morning commute can turn into an absolute nightmare scenario. The pileup was caused by a combination of the dense fog and drivers following too closely, a deadly recipe for disaster. This clip is a terrifying reminder that no matter how good of a driver you think you are, you can't control the conditions or the actions of others around you. The sheer number of vehicles involved meant that for many, a crash was simply unavoidable. They were just in the wrong place at the absolute worst time. Look at this one driver's perspective. He manages to stop just in time, his front bumper inches from the car in front. You can hear him let out a sigh of relief, but it's short-lived. In his rearview mirror, you see headlights approaching way too fast. There's a horrifying moment of realization on his face. He knows what's coming, and there is absolutely nothing he can do to stop it. The impact from behind is massive, launching his car forward into the pile. The aftermath was just as chaotic. It took crews over 24 hours to clear all the wreckage from the highway. They had to bring in dozens of heavy-duty tow trucks and cranes to literally lift and untangle the vehicles one by one. The financial cost was in the millions, but the human cost was even greater. Miraculously, there were no fatalities, but dozens were hospitalized with serious injuries. It's a miracle it wasn't worse. This event shut down one of the country's busiest highways for more than a day, causing traffic backups for hundreds of miles. It became a national news story, a chilling example of the fragility of our daily routines. One moment you're driving to work, listening to the radio, and the next you're part of a historic disaster. The scale of it is just hard to comprehend. 100 cars, all connected by one single terrible moment. As we watch this final panoramic shot of the scene, let it sink in. This is what happens when things go wrong on a massive scale. It's a powerful and sobering look at the destructive power of momentum and the terrifying consequences of a single mistake multiplied by 100. We're just getting started, and the next clip is a completely different kind of chaos. Let's move on. Okay, our next clip takes us from the wide-open highway to a busy city intersection, and it proves that you don't need 100 cars to create absolute mayhem. This one is all about timing, or rather, terrible timing. We're watching from a security camera mounted on a traffic light. The intersection is bustling, cars are flowing, pedestrians are crossing. It's a completely normal afternoon. Or so it seems. Focus on the silver sedan entering the frame from the left. The light is green, and the driver is proceeding through the intersection at a normal speed. From the right, a large red delivery truck is approaching the cross street. The light for the truck is clearly red. It's not yellow, it's not even a fresh red. It has been red for several seconds. But as you can see, the truck isn't slowing down, at all. The driver of the sedan has no idea what's about to happen. From their perspective, they have the right of way. They're probably thinking about their destination, what to make for dinner, anything but the speeding truck about to obliterate their path. This is the definition of being blindsided. There's no time to react, no time to swerve, no time to even hit the brakes. It's a collision course set in stone and then impact. The truck plows directly into the passenger side of the sedan, a classic T-bone collision but with devastating force. The sound is explosive. You can see the sedan's frame buckle instantly, the side windows shattering into a million tiny pieces. The force of the collision is so immense that it lifts the car off the ground and sends it spinning violently across the intersection like a top. The chaos doesn't stop there. The out-of-control sedan, now a spinning projectile of twisted metal, careens directly into a group of cars waiting at the red light on the other side. It's a secondary wave of destruction. One of the waiting cars is a minivan, and the impact is strong enough to shove it backward onto the sidewalk, narrowly missing a group of pedestrians who scatter in terror. You can see them running for their lives. Meanwhile, the delivery truck, its front end completely crumpled, finally screeches to a halt in the middle of the intersection, smoke pouring from its engine. The entire crossroads is now a scene of absolute gridlock and panic. People are jumping out of their cars, some running to help, others just standing in shock, hands over their mouths, unable to process what they just witnessed. The aftermath is a mess of mangled vehicles, shattered glass, and leaking fluids. The silver sedan is almost unrecognizable. The entire passenger side has been crushed inwards, a horrifying testament to the force of the impact. It's a chilling sight, and the first responders who arrive on the scene have to use the jaws of life to cut the driver out of the wreckage. You can see them working frantically, a race against time. The investigation later revealed the truck driver had suffered a sudden medical emergency, causing them to lose consciousness right before reaching the intersection. It wasn't a case of reckless driving, but a tragic and unforeseen medical event. It highlights how disaster can strike without warning, without malice, and change countless lives in the blink of an eye. It's a sobering thought that some things are just completely out of our control. The ripple effect of this one crash was huge. The intersection was closed for hours, causing massive traffic jams throughout the city. 4 cars were directly involved, and several people were transported to the hospital. The driver of the sedan thankfully survived, but with life-altering injuries. It's a stark reminder of the vulnerability we all share when we get behind the wheel. Look at the faces of the bystanders in this cell phone video taken moments after the crash. You see shock, fear, and concern. Strangers are rushing to help strangers, directing traffic, comforting those involved. It's a glimpse of humanity in the midst of chaos. In the worst moments, you often see the best in people, and this was no exception. Everyone came together to help before the professionals could even get there. This clip is a powerful lesson in defensive driving. Even when you have the green light, even when you have the right of way, you can't assume everyone else on the road is going to follow the rules. A quick look both ways, even on a green light, could be the difference between a safe passage and a catastrophic event like this one. It's a moment of caution that could literally save your life. Now we're heading out to the countryside for our third clip, and this one demonstrates the terrifying power of Mother Nature. Forget about other drivers for a second. Sometimes the road itself becomes your worst enemy. We're looking at dashcam footage from a car on a winding rural road in the middle of winter. It's beautiful, with snow-covered trees, but that beauty is hiding a deadly secret. a thick layer of black ice. The driver of the dashcam car is proceeding cautiously. You can tell they're aware of the potential danger. But the car in front of them, a blue SUV, seems a bit more confident, maybe a little too confident. They enter a sharp curve, and that's when everything goes horribly wrong. The SUV's rear wheels lose traction instantly on the invisible ice. The back of the vehicle begins to fishtail, swinging out violently to the right. The driver of the SUV tries to correct. You can see the front wheels turning, but it's a futile effort. They are no longer driving, they are a passenger in a 2-ton sled. The vehicle starts to spin, a slow, almost graceful pirouette of destruction. It completes one full rotation, then another, sliding sideways down the road, completely out of control. It's like watching a horrifying ballet on ice. The dashcam car driver hits the brakes, but their car also starts to slide, proving just how treacherous the conditions are. They can only watch as the spinning SUV heads directly towards the edge of the road where there's a steep wooded embankment. There's no guardrail here, nothing to stop it. The SUV's spin carries it right over the edge, and it disappears from view, crashing down into the trees below. You can hear the gasp from the driver of the dashcam car, followed by the sickening sound of crunching metal and snapping branches from down in the ravine. They manage to bring their own car to a stop, its hazard lights blinking in the cold air. The silence that follows is deafening, a stark contrast to the chaos of the last few seconds. The blue SUV is just gone, vanished into the winter landscape. This slow-motion replay shows you just how quickly control is lost. One moment the tires are on the pavement, and the next, they're gliding on a frictionless surface. There is literally nothing the driver could have done at that point. Overcorrecting on ice often makes the spin worse, and that seems to be exactly what happened here. It's a driver's worst nightmare. The driver of the dashcam car gets out and carefully makes their way to the edge of the embankment. The video gets shaky as they look down. The SUV is wedged between several large trees about 30 feet down, its roof caved in, steam rising from the wreck. It's a shocking sight. They immediately call 911, their voice trembling as they try to explain the location and what happened. This incident highlights the hidden danger of black ice. It's invisible to the naked eye, making it one of the most dangerous winter driving hazards. It often forms on bridges, overpasses, and shaded areas of the road, catching even the most experienced drivers completely by surprise. This driver probably had no idea they were driving into a trap until it was far too late. Rescue crews faced a significant challenge. They had to use ropes and specialized equipment to rappel down the steep, icy embankment to reach the vehicle. Then, they had to perform a technical extrication in a precarious position, all while ensuring the vehicle didn't slide further down the hill. It was a high-stakes operation in freezing temperatures. Miraculously, the driver of the SUV survived the crash. They were protected by their seatbelt and airbags, but they suffered serious injuries. They later told reporters they didn't even realize there was ice on the road until they felt the vehicle start to slide. It was a terrifying lesson in the importance of adjusting your speed and driving style to the weather conditions, no matter how clear the road may appear. This clip serves as a crucial public service announcement. When temperatures are near freezing, especially at night or in the early morning, assume that any wet-looking patch on the road could be ice. Slowing down significantly, especially before curves and bridges, is not just a suggestion, it's a life-saving necessity. As this video proves, a beautiful winter drive can turn deadly in a heartbeat. Our fourth clip is the kind of thing you think only happens in action movies. This is pure, unbelievable chaos on a massive bridge. We're watching from a traffic camera positioned high above, giving us a bird's-eye view of the multi-lane bridge spanning a wide river. Traffic is heavy but moving steadily. Pay attention to the red sports car in the far left lane. It's weaving through traffic, clearly driving much faster than everyone else. The driver seems to be in a huge hurry, making aggressive lane changes without signaling. You can see them cut off a minivan, then swerve to avoid a slower-moving truck. This isn't just speeding, it's reckless, erratic driving that puts everyone around them at risk. You just have that feeling in your gut that something bad is about to happen. This kind of driving is a ticking time bomb. The moment of truth comes as the sports car attempts to pass another vehicle on a slight curve in the bridge. They seem to misjudge the space or perhaps lose control for a split second. The car's rear tire clips the concrete median barrier. It's not a hard hit, but at that speed, it's all it takes to upset the balance of the vehicle completely. The car is instantly sent into a spin. But this isn't just a spin on the road. The car's momentum carries it across all lanes of traffic. Other drivers slam on their brakes, swerving desperately to avoid a collision. You can see cars scattering like bowling pins. The red sports car is a blur of motion, completely out of control, heading directly for the bridge's outer railing. It's a horrifying trajectory. And then, the unthinkable happens. The car doesn't just hit the railing, it ramps up it. The angle and the speed are the perfect tragic combination. The car goes airborne, clearing the railing entirely. For a brief, terrifying moment, The car is suspended in mid-air, high above the river, before it begins its plunge downwards. It's a surreal and stomach-dropping sight. The camera zooms in as the car plummets towards the water below. It hits the surface with a massive splash, sending a plume of water high into the air. Then, it's gone, sinking beneath the murky waves in a matter of seconds. Back on the bridge, traffic has come to a complete standstill. People are getting out of their cars, rushing to the railing, staring down at the water in disbelief. The response was immediate. Police boats, the Coast Guard, and dive teams were on the scene within minutes, but the river currents were strong. It became a recovery mission. The sheer drop from the bridge to the water was over 150 feet. The impact with the water at that speed would have been like hitting solid concrete. It's a grim reality. This slow-motion replay of the car clipping the barrier is crucial. Look at how small the initial contact is, a tiny scrape. But physics takes over from there. The force is amplified, turning a small error into a catastrophic, unrecoverable event. It's a terrifying illustration of how thin the margin for error is when you're traveling at high speeds. There's no room for mistakes. The driver's reckless behavior had the ultimate consequence. This wasn't an accident caused by weather or a mechanical failure. This was the direct result of a series of bad decisions, excessive speed, aggressive maneuvering, and a complete disregard for the safety of others. This clip is a brutal reminder that your choices behind the wheel have very real, and sometimes very final, consequences. The recovery of the vehicle took several hours. A crane was brought in to lift the mangled wreck of the sports car from the riverbed. It was a somber scene, broadcast on the local news, serving as a stark warning to the entire city. The bridge, a symbol of connection, became a scene of tragedy, all because of a few moments of recklessness. This event is a powerful argument against aggressive driving. We've all felt impatient in traffic, we've all been tempted to speed, but watching this should make anyone think twice. Is getting to your destination a few minutes earlier worth risking everything? This driver paid the ultimate price, and it was all captured on camera as a chilling lesson for the rest of us. Alright, for our final clip, we have the grand finale you'd expect from a Hollywood blockbuster. This is the explosive end to an intense, high-speed police chase. We're watching from a news helicopter following a stolen pickup truck as it tears through suburban streets, leaving a trail of chaos in its wake. The truck is running red lights, driving on the wrong side of the road, and narrowly avoiding collisions at every turn. The police are in hot pursuit with multiple patrol cars trying to keep up. The chase has been going on for nearly 30 minutes, and the suspect is showing no signs of slowing down or giving up. They are desperate, and their driving is becoming more and more erratic. The helicopter pilot is doing an incredible job keeping the truck in frame, giving us this unbelievable view of the unfolding drama. The chase leads them onto a freeway on-ramp, but instead of merging with traffic, the suspect does something completely unexpected. They drive up the grassy embankment next to the on-ramp, attempting to jump directly onto the freeway below to evade the cruisers. It's a wild, desperate gamble that you can tell is not going to end well. This is the point of no return. The truck gets some air as it leaves the embankment, but it doesn't have the speed or the trajectory to clear the gap smoothly. It lands nose down on the freeway, the front axle shattering on impact. The truck immediately digs into the asphalt and begins to flip, end over end in a violent, spectacular crash. It's one of the most insane crashes I have ever seen. The truck flips at least 4 or 5 times, shedding parts and debris with each rotation. The hood flies off, the doors are torn from their hinges, and the truck bed is twisted into a heap of scrap metal. It finally comes to rest on its roof in the middle of the freeway, a smoldering, unrecognizable wreck. It's a miracle it didn't collect any other cars during its chaotic tumble. Traffic on the freeway screeches to a halt. You can see drivers and other cars are stunned, their vehicles forming a perimeter around the wreckage. Police cars swarm the scene immediately, officers approaching the overturned truck with their weapons drawn. It's an incredibly tense moment. They don't know if the suspect is injured or if they are still a threat. Fire and medical units arrive moments later. The truck has started to catch fire, and firefighters have to quickly extinguish the flames before they can even attempt to get to the suspect inside. The entire freeway is shut down in both directions, creating a massive traffic nightmare that stretches for miles. All of this because one person refused to pull over. This thermal imaging view from the helicopter shows the heat from the engine and the fire, and you can see the first responders working to cool it down. They use the jaws of life once again, a tool we've seen a lot today, to cut through the mangled roof of the truck to extricate the suspect. The level of destruction is just staggering. The truck is completely destroyed. The suspect was pulled from the wreckage alive, but with critical injuries. They were immediately taken into custody and transported to a hospital under police guard. Their desperate attempt to escape justice resulted in a crash that not only endangered their own life, but the lives of every single officer and civilian on that road. It's the definition of a selfish and destructive act. This chase and the resulting crash are a testament to the dangers that law enforcement officers face every day. They have to make split-second decisions in high-stress situations to protect the public, often at great personal risk. The coordination between the ground units and the air support in this video is incredible. A well-oiled machine working to bring a dangerous situation to an end. As we watch the tow truck haul away what's left of the pickup, it's a final, powerful image of the consequences of running from the law. There's no escape, only a path that leads to destruction. This was a wild ride from start to finish, and it's a fittingly explosive end to our countdown of 2025's most shocking crashes. And that is it. Those were the 5 most shocking, unbelievable, and absolutely insane car crash moments of 2025. I don't know about you, but my heart is still pounding. From the 100-car pileup to that unbelievable high-speed chase, we have seen some of the most intense footage I have ever laid my eyes on. Every single one of these clips is a powerful reminder to stay safe, be aware, and drive smart out there. The road can be an unpredictable place, and as we saw today, things can go from normal to catastrophic in less than a second. I really hope watching this gives you a new perspective next time you get behind the wheel. We showed you these clips not just for the shock value, but as a real-world lesson in what can happen. If you learned something today, or if your jaw is still on the floor, do me a huge favor and smash that like button. Let's see if we can get this video to 1 million views in the first 24 hours. And don't forget to subscribe, because we do crazy videos like this all the time and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Thank you all so much for watching. Seriously, it means the world to me that you spend your time here. Leave a comment below telling me which clip shocked you the most. Was it the bridge plunge? The icy spin out? I read all the comments, so let me know. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next video.